I found a note without my name, folded in the side. I found a note without my name in the pocket near the seam. A little line of handwriting from a life outside of me. It was not something cruel there, it was not meant to sting, but it reminded me softly, you were more than our ending. The bass moved under gently, the kitchen felt the same. Nothing made you distant like a note without my name. I found a note without my name, softly in the room. I found a note without my name on the kitchen blue. I found a note without my name, warm bass underneath. I am not owning every memory, I am learning how to breathe. I found a note without my name, paper in the view. The old life had corners I never walked through. No name, same pain, folded line, not mine. It did not mean betrayal, it only made me know every person carries rooms we never go. I do not need to read it for pain or control. I found a note without my name, still touched my soul. Maybe nameless paper can loosen what we claim. Maybe love is softer when it does not need a name. I found a note without my name. Now the ache feels slow, the memory is still tender, but I let pressure go. I found a note without my name. Morning starts to show, the paper turns lighter, and I let go. I found a note without my name. I found a note without my name, folded in the side. Your color carried last December in the kitchen there. Your color carried last December, cold nights near the train. The red lamp in the kitchen turned the fabric soft again. I touched the edge so lightly, like touching frozen time. A winter I survived there, still folded in the line. The bass moved under softly, the old month felt tender. Nothing a Carrie last December, softly in the room. You call a Carrie last December, under kitchen blue. You call a Carrie last December, warm base underneath. I am not living in the winter, I am learning how to breathe. You call a Carrie last December, faded black in view. The season stayed quiet while I moved through you. Last December, still remember. Cold line, old time. It did not mean I missed pain, it only made me kind to the colder part of us that I left behind. I do not need to wear it for peace or control. You call a Carrie last December, still touched my soul. Maybe old winters can fold into the past. Maybe cold months leave when morning comes at last. Your collar carried last December. Now the ache feels slow. The memory is still tender, but I let pressure go. Your collar carried last December. Dawn begins to show. The winter turns lighter, and I let go. Your collar carried last December. In the kitchen there. The empty pocket hurt the most. After all I found, the empty pocket hurt the most. No paper coin, no key, just a quiet little hollow where something used to be. I searched it with my fingers, and nothing answered back. A softer kind of absence inside the faded black. The bass moved under gently. The fridge light held me close. Nothing said goodbye like the empty pocket hurt the most. The empty pocket hurt the most. Softly in the room, the empty pocket hurt the most. Under kitchen blue, the empty pocket hurt the most. Warm base underneath, I am not feeling every hollow. I am learning how to breathe. The empty pocket hurt the most. Jacket in the view, then nothing felt heavy while I moved through you. Nothing there, still air. Pocket wide, hurt inside. after all I found. Nine floors into the grave, the city fell away. Ramparts passed above my eyes, concrete turning quiet lines. Level 3 still heard the street. Level 5 released the heat. By level 7 I was still only ties against the hill. I kept climbing without why, just to leave the sound behind. I was not looking for a place, I only needed space. One more turn and I could breathe, with nothing underneath. Level 9 above the noise, I could hear my own voice. Level 9 above the noise, I could finally make a choice. Level 9 above the noise, far from every crowded voice. City lights below the grave, nothing asking me to stay. Level 9 above the noise, I did not come here to rejoice. I came up to let things fade on an empty rooftop lane. Level 9 above the noise, where the silence had a pulse. For the first time since you left, I could hear what I had felt. Highest level, open wide, exit arrows at my side. Ticket stub beside the gear, no one else was parked up here. I chose a space without a sign, stopped between two painted lines. Put my phone down in the tray, let the last notification fade. My hands stay resting on the wheel, waiting for the dark to feel less like somewhere I could fall, more like nothing much at all. Level 9 above the noise, I could hear my own voice. Level 9 above the noise, I could finally make a choice. Level 9 above the noise, far from every crowded voice. City lights below the grave, nothing asking me to stay. Level 9 above the noise, I did not come here to rejoice. I came up to let things fade on an empty rooftop lane. Level 9 above the noise, where the silence had a pulse. For the first time since you left, I could hear what I had felt. 9 floors under me, fuck where a road should be. I came for distance, distance came quietly. I switched off the cabin light, watched the windows lose the night. Something pale moved through the beam, soft enough to cover streets. The railing vanished from my view, red and blue lights filtered through. Then the whole deck turned unclear, like the clouds had found me here. I did not know what came ahead, but I knew what I had fled. Down below the city moved, up here nothing had to prove. If I stayed inside the car, would the quiet reach this far? If I opened up the door, would I miss you even more? I could feel the cold come in, touch the place your coat had been. Still I let the window fall and listen to no sound at all. Level 9 above the noise, now I heard my tired voice, not asking you to turn around, not repeating what went down. Level 9 above the noise, I was learning quieter choices. Leave the engine, leave the light, let the fog erase the night. every line. Ooh. Headlights floating through the white fog around the parking lines. I turned the wheel and drove inside. We moved through the yellow beams. Nothing stayed where it had been. Headlights open, narrow ground. Fog blew softly all around. Parking numbers came and went. Paint was broken near the bends. Every line looked almost new, then disappeared beneath the view. I drove slower than before, past the stairwell and the door. I could only see ahead, one small piece of concrete. Maybe that was all I needed, one clear line beneath me. Fog around the parking lines, hiding where I drew the line. Fog around the parking lines, giving me a little time. Fog around the parking lines, covered every wrong and right. I could not see far enough to pretend I knew too much. Fog around the parking lines, softened every warning sign. All the roads I used to know ended in a silver glow. Fog around the parking lines, I kept moving slow and light. Not toward you, not toward home, just until I chose to stop. One white arrow pointed left, another faded near the edge. My wipers crossed a window, dry out of habit, not the sky. Empty spaces open wide, then dissolved on either side. I passed the same blue pillar twice before I found a place that felt right. There was no perfect place to be, no mark waiting there for me. So I stopped where two faint lines held the car on either side. Fog around the parking lines, hiding where I drew the line. Fog around the parking lines, giving me a little time. Fog around the parking lines, covered every wrong and right. I could not see far enough to pretend I knew too much. Fog around the parking lines, softened every warning sign. All the routes I used to know ended in a silver glow. Fog around the parking lines, I kept moving slow and light. Not toward you, not toward home, just until I chose to stop. Lights off, white remains, door closed, breath on glass. No road, no name. The handbrake clicked beneath my hand. Silence filled the place I planned. I watched my own reflection rise, faint and tired in the glass. Then I opened up the door. Cold air moved along the floor. My shoes landed on the paint where the lines were growing faint. The fog did not ask where I had been. It only sight was kind. Maybe I had watched too long for a road that turned to yours, for a light behind your door. Here the ground was all I knew, one white line beneath each shoe. Then the warmth above the grill pulled me closer through the chill. Fog around the parking lines, hit the hour, hit the signs. I no longer had to see every place you would not be. Fog around the parking lines, let the rooftop lose its size. I had room enough to stand with the cold against my hands. Fog around the parking lines, stayed as quiet as the night. I closed the door but stayed outside, let the white erase the drive. Fog around the parking lines, and the cold hood at my side. My palms found the fading heat. I sat down above the street. The last warmth left the steel. I waited there to feel. I sat on the cold hood, jacket folded where I could. Fog collected in my hair. No one knew that I was there. Underneath my open hands, heat escaped in little waves. I watched moisture beat and run, silver under rooftop lamps. The engine held a little glow from every road I drove below. But even metal lets it go when the moving finally slows. I sat on the cold hood longer than I thought I would. I sat on the cold hood till the silence understood. I sat on the cold hood where you once said the night felt good. Hands against the fading heat, fog above the sleeping street. I sat on the cold hood, trying not to wish you would. Call and ask me where I went, fill the space the cold had left. I sat on the cold hood, let the quiet do what it could. Nothing changed and nothing broke. I just breathed and watched the fall. Once you warmed your hands like this outside the closed fuel station, we had missed the final turn. Still we laughed and let time burn. You drew circles in the dust, wrote one word and covered it. Now the hood was clean with mist, no old mark remained on it. I almost traced your name again, but left the water where it ran. Some things disappear more well when no hand tries to help. I sat on the cold hood longer than I thought I would. I sat on the cold hood till the silence understood. I sat on the cold hood where you once said the night felt good. Hands against the cold steel, warm breath, 9 floors, no steps. So the heat went down. My sleeves grew dark beneath my palms. Tiny drops became thin lines. The cost of feeling like a place that still remembered both our shapes. It was only glass and doors, 4 quiet tires on the floor. Maybe I could use them now without returning to your house. I lean back against the frame, let the cold remove your name. Then I raise my eyes at last, past the railing, past the glass. If you called, I might have stayed in the version we had made, but the phone was out of reach, face down on the empty seat. So I listened to the air, to the city somewhere there. Nothing answered, nothing moved, and for once that carried truth. I sat on the cold wood longer than I thought I would, till the warmth beneath my hands left without a final chance. I sat on the cold wood and I missed you like I knew I would, but I did not start the car. I did not ask where you are. I sat on the cold hood, let the night be simply what it was. A quiet roof, a coat pulled close, a heart still learning to let go. I sat on the cold hood, then looked where the skyline stood. Every building blurred to gray, the skyline lost its shade. Red lights bled into the blue. Every shape became untrue. The skyline lost its edges behind the rooftop fog. Windows turned to little stains and disappeared at once. The tower with the pointed roof was nowhere I could find. Even roads I knew by heart had fallen out of sight. I used to need a clearer view to know what I should do. Tonight the its edges, nothing sharp enough to hold. The skyline lost its edges, like the promises we made. Every hard and certain outline open gently into gray. The skyline lost its edges. I stopped forcing ours to stay, not because I had forgotten, not because I felt okay. The skyline lost its edges, and the distance lost its name. For a moment you were nowhere, and I did not chase your shape. Blurred red, blurred blue, no clear road back to you. No clear view. Cold had settled through my coat. I climbed down from the hood, opened up the driver's side, and sat where I once would. The dashboard woke beneath my hand. A map filled up the screen. The city found its edges there, in lines of blue and green. The fog could hide the world outside, but not the stored-in roads. One familiar place appeared before I touched the screen. There it was in recent trips, the road beside your gate. All the turns still organized as if they chose my fate. I look back through the windshield when no building could be seen. Then down at something far too clear, glowing underneath. The skyline lost its edges, but the map remembered all. Every street that led toward you, every bridge and every wall. The skyline lost its edges, while your name stayed clean and small. I could hide you in the weather, I could not hide you from the car. The skyline lost its edges, and I finally understood. Blurred distance was not leaving if the route remained this close. The skyline lost its edges. Your house waited on the screen. One safe place beneath my hand. The map knew where you lived. The screen came on, the route stayed blue. Oh, it still remembered you. Navigation still knew your house, second name beneath the search. 12 old minutes from the bridge, right turn by the little church. It remembered where to slow, where the narrow street began. Every corner sat in place, waiting underneath my hand. I had not typed a single word, still your address reappeared. Some machines remember quietly, long after people disappear. Navigation still knew your house, even when I turned us off. Navigation still knew your house, like the road had missed enough. Navigation still knew Friday sparking halfway down your block. You would run beneath my jacket, laughing while I fought the lock. And one night you stayed upstairs, sent 4 words and dimmed the light. I drove home without the music, following that route all night. The map recorded every turn, not the sentence that still burned. It could measure road and time, not the reason you were gone. Navigation still knew your house, even when I turned us off. Navigation still knew your house, like the road it missed enough. Navigation still knew your house, knew the gate and knew the street, knew the place I used to wait with your message on repeat. Navigation still knew your house, offered one familiar route. I could touch the blue direction, I could let it lead me down. Navigation still knew your house, but it never knew the cost of arriving there unwanted, of returning after lost. Start route, cancel route, my hands stayed in between. Start route, cancel route, your address on the screen. Beyond the glass, a tower blinked red behind the moving white. Its slow warning crossed the cabin, then withdrew into the night. Every flash became a memory of the signals near your street. Stop and wait, then turn toward you. Oh, commands inside of me. I left the route unopened, let the map remain alone. Then I watched the red light vanish where the skyline should have shown. Could a road become a habit? Could a habit feel like love? Could I miss the way of getting there more than what was waiting once? I did not need another visit to believe that it was done. Still, my finger held above you, like the journey had begun. Navigation still knew your house, every turn was waiting there. But the fog outside the windshield made the distance feel more fair. Navigation still knew your house. I was learning not to go. Knowing how to read somebody does not mean they are your home. Navigation still knew your house. While I sat above the streets, I left your address on the screen, but would not let it carry me. Navigation still knew your house. Red towers flickered through the mist. Oh, the map glowed against my wrist. Red towers through the mist. Red ones, dark again. Something blinked beyond the rain. towers through the mist, blinking where the city slipped. Red towers through the mist, like the nights I could not fix. Red towers through the mist, counting moments I had missed. On and gone and on again, like your light behind the curtain. Red towers through the mist were the only things that lived in a skyline without edges, in a night that would not speak. Red towers through the mist kept no road and made no wish. They just warned the empty darkness. There was something standing in it. Red light, then none. Old road, not home. Red light, move on. I look down across the dashboard at your roots still waiting blue. Then another flash went over it and changed the map's whole hue. Your safe place became a shadow, then returned when red withdrew. I turned from the screen completely to the quiet rooftop view. That was when I finally noticed not a single lamp nearby, no reflection from a windshield, no one crossing through the white. All those towers warned the airplanes, all those lights protected flight. Maybe warnings are not failures, maybe they can guide the night. I had read each sign between us, then ignored what made me fear. Now the clearest thing around me was that no one else was here. Red towers through the mist, I no longer made a wish for your window to appear there, for a road to re-exist. Red towers through the mist faded farther with each blink. I stayed still and let the darkness be as empty as it seemed. Red towers through the mist, nothing followed, nothing shifted. Only one car on the rooftop, only one heart sitting in it. Red towers through the mist, no other headlights answered them. Empty spaces far and near. No, no other cars appear. No doors closed, no tires turned, only fog beneath the lamps. No other cars up here, every space was open, clear. Rows of numbers, rows of white. Nothing moved across the night. No one waiting by the stairs, no one talking, hands in air. My reflection stood alone in the glass beside the road. At first the emptiness felt wide, like somewhere I could disappear. Then it settled like a room where I did not have to fear. No other cars up here. I walked past the empty spaces, counted 12 along the wall. Saw a coffee cup turn sideways near a faded payment stall. Someone must have left before me, someone had a place to be. I was free to choose to leave, and still I stayed beside my seat. Loneliness can feel like falling when the room is full of eyes. On that roof it felt much softer, with no reason left to hide. No other cars up here, only truth becoming clear. No other cars up here, I could stay without being seen. No other cars up here, no one asking why I came, no one watching me remember, no one saying your name. No other cars up here, only fog and painted lanes. I had carried so much noise, now the silence knew my shape. No other cars up here, nothing left for me to hear but the breath inside my jacket and the things I would not say. One car, one light, one map, one night, no crowd, no light. I returned behind the wheel, closed the door against the chill year. I just waited on the screen, too exact and far too clean. I switched off the running engine, left the accessories awake. Then the metal underneath me made a small contracting sound. One quiet tick beneath the hood, and another near my feet. In a place with no one else, every little sound felt deep. If another car had entered, I might quickly drive away. I might hide the open history, I might leave the choice unchanged. But no headlights crossed the rooftop, no one interrupted me. So I stayed inside the stillness with the route I had to face. No other cars up here.